not Flora.
Aye, aye, Skipper.
We are prey.
And Uhura for the win.
It's officially the Pike maneuver.
The best miracles are born from truth.
One problem at a time.
It's the Gorn.
It's the Gorn.
It's the Gorn, sir.
Yes, that's right. Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Memento Mori, has aired, or at least in the United States, on, what is it called? Paramount Plus now? Or it will be airing later tonight on CTV Sci-Fi Channel. But we're just getting started here on Live Long and Podcast to cover this review of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Memento Mori, the fourth episode of the first season. I'm Dave Mader here on Live Long and Podcast, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitch, or you might be listening to us on the audio version. We got a great panel to break this down tonight. First, we got Jody Simpson with us tonight. Jody, how are you doing?
I'm all right.
That's great.
That's all the energy you're getting out of me right now. I'm tired.
Okay, well,
sorry.
Feel it, you know. It's you're like Lieutenant Commander Leon there, or we got Kevin Millard. Are you gonna bring us some energy?
No.
I think so. I didn't think so.
I was going to until you asked, Dave.
It's gonna have to be Adam then.
Adam, you bring in the energy tonight.
I got it. We're good. I'm with you tonight, Dave.
Okay. Oh, all right. We got this, guys. Okay, so we're gonna be breaking down this episode, reviewing it. We'll be looking at some of the visuals. But just overall, let's get some takes. Let's start over with Jody. Jody, how did you enjoy tonight or this new episode of Star Trek: Strange New Worlds?
Yeah, it's another good episode. I have a couple complaints, but overall, it's a solid episode again. So they've been knocking it out so far. So we'll see how it goes.
All right, and Kevin,
I think it was great. I kind of wish we had seen the Gorn and it had been a dude in a suit in the original series suit. Like the Gorn still looked the same,
right? With dead eyes.
I was a little dismayed at the lack of diamond cannons.
Yeah,
but
dead
overall, great
eyes,
episode.
evil, or however Leon describes them. Adam, what you think of Memento Mori? Is that how you say it? Memento Mori.
Memento Mori. I loved it. Listen, they took on probably one of the scariest villains Star Trek has seen. We haven't, seen them for such a long time, or we didn't see them.
Guys.
But man, looked great. Great story. Now they face death. Now we've got a crew now seasoned. It was good. Really great.
And we also have watching live with us along in the comments. We got Sam out of Newfoundland. He's looking for the Live Long and Podcast tour, Newfoundland Summer 2022. I don't know. That's a tall ask for this summer, but we'll see, Sam. But maybe one summer in the future. Who's to say? No, I do not watch MasterChef. I don't know if does anyone else watch MasterChef.
I do not.
No. And what did I think of Survivor last night? I'll tell you what I thought. It's okay to be sad, but I won the draft. Marianne, the second Canadian winner ever. So I was excited, Sam. But we're not here to talk about Survivor. So these other three have no idea what I'm going on about.
Sorry,
but
I thought my mic was muted.
Yeah, it was a little long, a 3-hour finale. I was on late with Jaemeel and Jeff breaking that down. But we're here on Live Long and Podcast talking Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. Let's go through the episode, some of the visuals, and I break this down. Get that banner off of Adam's face there. Okay, there we go. All right, so again, we got another a log, but it's not from the captain. It's not a captain's log. It was the security chief's log. This episode featuring, I believe she's a lieutenant commander, although she wears stripes that look like commander stripes, and they called her lieutenant a few times, so I'm kind of confused. But Leon Noonien-Singh, the security chief of the Enterprise back in 2259 at least, and she's kind of talking about just being sad or whatever. Like I like how that we got this kind of pan in on the Enterprise. It goes on the top, and then it transitions into this this little pin or medallion of the SS Puget Sound, the ship that she had previously been on as a child, I guess, right? Her wearing the uniform and her brother wearing the uniform threw me off a little bit. But we find out in this episode that it's Starfleet Remembrance Day. This is something they've never I don't think they've ever done in Star Trek before, but it's kind of a new concept. I'm digging it.
What a
where
great
we-
idea. What a
great idea. Yeah, you can see that this was a Federation ship. It says UFP there, but it's not the USS Puget Sound. So I guess that means maybe not a Starfleet vessel. I don't know. I'm not quite sure what to make of that exactly. But
Well, it's
cool.
a Federation vehicle.
Definitely a Federation ship. Yeah, that's for sure, because we see that part of the emblem. And I guess, Leon would have worn this because we see all the crew throughout the episode. They're all wearing little medallions of the ships they've served on, or like people they've to memorialize people they've lost. Almost like wearing the poppy, up here in Canada, we wear the poppy on Remembrance Day. It's maybe some sort of akin to that. Or, just but memorializing people that you've lost.
That's how they certainly set it up that way, and that's how I felt about it. As they were pulling away from that scene, a good memory day, a good way to look back on your fellow crew members who you've lost. It was good.
Yeah, but Leon's not feeling it. She's a little bit against it, and she doesn't end up putting hers on ultimately because she's still struggling with the trauma of her past. Although she does, tell that the enemy doesn't care about my.
The enemy doesn't care about my feelings, Captain. So I don't waste my time having any.
I don't know about that.
So we'll just be angry all the time.
You seem to spend a lot of time having them, but it's okay. It's clear you're trying to repress them, and we understand. But yeah, she's looking at it. She ultimately doesn't put it on, but she heads up to the bridge, and then there's kind of like this voiceover as Pike's kind of explaining the event. Here we see Chief, what's his last name again? Kyle. Chief Kyle. He sees this other guy walking along. I guess they're friends, maybe more than friends. Not quite sure. This is the guy that will end up dying later on in the episode. So
they do this throughout the episode too, if you notice. I don't know.
Just
if you
like
guys
people
noticed
having
that.
these like moments.
Everybody, all 7 people that died during this episode were featured in various shots.
Oh, I didn't know it was all 7 of them. Okay, I knew this one for sure. So, so I think that I really like that part of the episode too. I thought that there was some strong things there.
When's Memorial Day in the States?
Monday.
Memorial
is
in May.
So that makes sense that this is the episode, right?
The Americans have 2. They have Veterans Day and they have Memorial Day. So Veterans Day is the same as Remembrance Day for us. But Memorial, so kind of along the same thing.
Might be a coincidence, might not, but either way, I think it's a cool thing to add.
Cool thing, yeah, for sure. I kind of wanted to get a little. I didn't quite get a close up on every one of which one they're wearing, but I'm sure that eventually people will kind of put all that together in like the Easter egg videos, and I'm going to look into that kind of stuff. We also see here we got Hemmer and Uhura. They're kind of walking through the corridors, talking. She's an engineering class. It's part of her cadet training, and they have a little bit of sparring going on. As we remember, they met earlier on, and she kind of bumbled that off. They were hazing her a little bit about how, I'm here to help you who's disabled. And he's like, I'm not disabled, and you don't know what you're doing, and you can't handle my engineering skills and things like that.
Well, and the one thing that I did like is, if you notice, when she was looking at her, like, kind of, I guess, keepsake box or whatever you want to call it, she actually had her cadet badge in there as well, which I thought was kind of a neat little touch, because Uhura is literally the only one we see with a cadet badge on, right?
Right.
So everybody else has the normal emblem on, right? So
is she the only cadet on the ship? Is that what was kind of explained?
That was the impression I got, because when they were doing the dinner party, was it last episode or the episode before? They basically said like she was picked out of like 3,000 or 4,000 people or something.
Right. And we've seen this in other Star Trek shows where it's like certain cadets get to do kind of their field training on assignment.
Like she's doing like an internship, basically. Yeah.
Wesley was the only cadet on the Enterprise, and Nog was the only cadet on Deep Space Nine.
But, Wesley got to wear like an ensign's uniform before he even went to the academy, which never made any sense.
Well, he was an acting ensign.
Acting ensign. But then they put him in the uniform, and then he was like,
acting ensign, sir.
I'm acting ensign, yeah.
Well, it beats the sweaters he was wearing.
Yeah, I think they were like, we got to do something here. So it was like, that only lasted for one season.
He keeps looking like those cheap rubber balls that you get at like Kmart. Like, can you Get
Yeah,
something
and
else.
when-
Like that
and when
rainbow outfit, man, was brutal.
The rainbow one in season 1, yeah, not my favorite either.
And that big sweater, the orange,
the really
sweater
thick one with the
Yeah.
silver com badge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I digress. But good banter here between these two. I'm really liking all these characters, all this whole crew.
But I also think when you go back to that dinner episode, when they're talking about, out of thousands of people, it really, I think, emphasized how special it is to be in Starfleet again.
Especially on this ship.
On this ship.
Well, getting this posting, is probably the main thing. But I think Hemmer also, one of the reasons why he's being kind of a dick is because he knows that she basically said she's not sure if she wants to stay in Starfleet, right? So
I think
he's an arrogant guy. So
he's a bit of a dick to everybody, I think.
Yeah, well, he's an arrogant guy, right? So it's it's probably like a waste of his time. He thinks
everybody else is so nice, Jody. We need somebody grumpy.
Yeah,
we already have grumpy. We have a security officer who's fucking grumpy all the time.
No, she's just
damaged.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever. You can still be fucking nice.
She watched your brother get like eaten by a Gorn or something.
You're like Hammer. Jody's Hammer.
I'm the Hammer of the group. All right. Fair enough.
Yeah, I think there might be some correlations here. And we learned
in
more
YouTube.
about
One of the YouTube comments was that at one point, wasn't it?
Oh, there was more about Leon. That there was a correlation between you and Leon, perhaps. But anyway, so Leon goes to the bridge. She doesn't wear her little pin, and Una's kind of saying, "No, where's your flare? What's going on?"
Yeah, you're supposed to have 16 pieces of flare.
Yeah, exactly.
You're obviously not trying.
Right. You're not trying too hard here.
I gotta watch that movie again. That was a great movie.
Yeah, Jane had it on the other day. And
PC
so they're
load letter. What the hell does that mean?
It was explained earlier in the log, with Leon's log, that they were heading off to this colony to do something or repair something. It's not, it doesn't really matter because it ends up not being significant to the story. But they head to this planet, and the planet is like everything's, the communication satellites are down. They can't figure out what's going on. So he decides to, the communications officer is like,
and that's one thing I have a problem with this episode versus the other three that we've already seen, because this one is all about conveniences. So like, for instance, they couldn't put up their shields because of the thing that was going between the two ships. They couldn't, the satellite was out, everything was out. We only have one torpedo, all this, like everything was all about coincidence and chance. It was just, that's the only thing I didn't like about it, but past
or listen to Leanne. She was talking about how this is what the Gorn do. They set you up. Yeah. And you fell into
I love that aspect of it. I thought it was great, especially after they blew up the one ship and then they clue in that, that was a ruse to begin with. Mm-hmm. They're sacrificing one ship to figure out where they are. That was awesome.
There was some interesting things there. Yeah.
I also like this panel. I'm glad you got
too.
A picture of this because it's got the original old, like, little
raised up
little gummy bears or whatever the hell they are.
Yeah, like the marbles up
I
on
like
there.
that.
Yeah. I like how there's a
I like how they did that.
They're trying to connect it to the original series but still modernize it, and there's a lot of good stuff.
That is exactly how Discovery should have went.
Yeah. My only issue with this episode is they brought up Michael Burnham for Spock and he got all and I was like,
it was quick. It's fine.
It's fine. Yeah. Not that I hate Michael
It's fine.
Burnham.
If it's not the focus of the episode, it's fine.
Now, did anybody actually think that they were saying Nimbus all the time when they were talking about the planet?
I don't. I didn't really. Me? They didn't even really say it too many times, but I guess it was Finbus, right?
Finbus. Yeah. I thought it was Nimbus 3. I'm like, oh, okay, Nimbus 3. I know that one. And then,
that's the planet
of
Black Peace.
Yeah. And then it's like, well, it's obviously not peaceful anymore. So I'm like, that's pretty cool. And then it's like I find out it's not even the same planet.
But don't you think they teed this whole scene up so well to like?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I really liked it. Yeah.
To get down on the planet, like it's ominous. Like something bad's happened.
Yeah. They're like,
the only other complaint I have about that is when they figure out that there's a ship approaching them and he goes, I'm beaming you up, and literally they were there. Like there was no space in between. It doesn't, like, that was so quick. Like it's like
I feel like sometimes they cut there. I feel like sometimes they cut a bit of that out. Yeah. It's quick, and then there's other times it drags, but like it's okay. Like overall, I can't complain too much. But here's I have my little nitpicks, and so when they beam down and they go down here, here's my one issue. It's this one door on this planet. looks just like a mall door that you would find in like a plaza today. It's even got the lock.
It's like a lab or something.
I'm like, are they using like actual locks here in the future on this colony? Like they're padlocking the doors at night. It's just
you know what I really liked about this scene? The flashlights.
Oh yeah, they're wearing like the jackets from which were really introduced on Discovery. So they're still using some of the Discovery.
They're not
stuff.
holding those stupid things they did in Next Gen. You know,
yeah, yeah. Just like
I like those things.
Here's a shot.
Jody,
of
they took
Leon's.
a hand away.
Yeah, I know. They're not practical at all, but I still like them. They look.
Oh, these are great.
The little flashlight wedges,
little away team vests that you wear, and like I guess they also serve as a little bit of armor for you while you're on the away mission, but different than like the jackets we saw in last episode when they were at Ontario Place. So it was it looking good. I dig it. I even have a little bit of coloring. You see here, like you can see Una's division color on the back, and then also Leon's has the red. But then we find out,
which I've already brought up is stupid. But anyway, that's fine.
It's not stupid. It's consistent.
It's stupid. It makes no sense
You're
to have them color coded.
What's wrong with it being color coded?
Like they need to know what fucking group they're in when they're on an away mission. Whatever.
All right, let's move on. All right, so
this was cool. I like this.
Yeah. We got the blood smeared everywhere, and there's no people. They can't find any of the people. So it's a very like horror.
Well, with the amount of blood that's there, you really think you're gonna find?
They found the people. They found the people.
They found the people. They're just spread out.
Some people.
See the people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people there.
And while they're coming up, they see this other ship coming up. We don't know, is this going to be the villain? Is this the bad guy? What's going on here? It ends up not being that, but he calls alert. He calls for the away team to come up. Maybe a little too quick for Jody. We don't see them on the turbo lifts, but we end up finding out. I don't
care. It's just literally they acknowledge that they're there like a second later. It was like it just seems like there was a bad edit there or something.
There was this whole
Kyle's really fast on the transporters.
I guess so.
He's a fast transporter chief, right?
They still take like 3 seconds or so to
just imagine like O'Brien.
But there's like this whole conversation he has with this woman, right?
Yeah.
Like he's like,
that's
what
happened?
Them. And they're like, we don't know, and we'll beam you over. Oh, you can't. We have radiation or something.
Convenience. There you
go.
Yeah.
That's how writing works. It's
there's
not real
so
life.
much convenience in this episode, though.
Yes,
I'm still gonna give it a high rating. It's a good episode.
Yeah, that's I don't know how you like. It's not real, Jody. So there's a story to be told here. So
says the man who's like, it's not canon. It's not canon all the time.
Yeah, well, this is canon. So anyway, so they have to extend the walkway over to the other ship because we don't see the away team through all of this until they get through here. So and I don't know, they have to get these people off, but they're being a little slow about it, quite frankly.
I think again that shows the trauma of what they've just experienced, whatever it was. It it just heightens the whole. The scene up again, just because they're just dragging themselves in for sure.
Yeah, these colonists don't have a lot of information either about what even happened. But we find out later that the Gorn have left this as bait. This was all the setup. This is part of the hunt that they're going for, because ultimately they just want to eat humans, right? Like they want to and feed us to their hatchlings and whatever. And so
evil.
Yeah, they're evil. They're evil. They are pure evil, as Leon will tell us later. Where do I have that quote? I do have a quote where
they're trying to feed their kids, and that's evil.
The Federation teaches that if we can
here.
find a way to empathize with an enemy, then they can one day become our friends. They're wrong.
They're wrong.
Just because we happen to be the food for them doesn't mean that they're evil.
Well, they can find other food sources.
Okay.
Anyway, so Leon looks at the girl here, and I guess is able to connect with her because she seems to have seen maybe a little bit more than the rest of these colonists have, and she's been traumatized. And there's sort of this moment where she kind of figured, I don't know, Leon sort of just knows. She gives her that traumatized look or something, and looking at her mouth and coming around here, and she's like, scan for polarized something or other. Right,
because the girl did the sounds.
Yeah, that's right. It was like the clicking sound. She was like, And she was like, "Oh yeah, that's I know that clicking. You know, we've heard those Gorn. They like to click.
There's only one alien that clicks.
It's the clicking Gorns.
They're the clicking Gorns.
And so yeah, there's quite a moment here, and they're like, "Oh, raise the shields," and he's like, "We can't while we have this walkway retracted." And Pike's just like, "Oh, like we are screwed now."
I like this scene too, because it shows that Pike doesn't even ask questions. If one of his senior officers says, "Do this," raise the shields, he's like, "Okay, no problem."
And then he can't. Yeah, but he's
because if there's a Kirk ships, Kirk would be like, "I didn't tell you to do that," you know.
And then the guy would die.
Cisco would be like, "I didn't give you that order yet," or like, so there's
Cisco's like the biggest pompous ass when it comes to that stuff. So
yeah, and there's like kind of like this moment we see the ship coming, and we're just like, "Uh-oh," you know, we know something bad's gonna happen. We see this blow up. I don't know how they survive this, because you think like there'd be like the vacuum of space would suck them out or something. But
so why couldn't they extend the shields over this thing?
I guess your plot convenience is
convenience. There you go.
Right,
that's the word. All right.
Yeah, because they can't. And we have the credits.
Did that.
We have like the opening credits, and like that's the cold open, and then we come over here, and then we had this smirking guy coming up through a lot of the episode. We don't really know what to make of this, but it's clearly part of Leon's like sort of
history.
Wow.
History, or her in her mind.
I clued in pretty quick. It was her brother.
Yeah. I didn't know. I thought it was maybe like some kind of he seems sinister, very with this smirk.
Well, so does she though.
She does.
Yeah.
Look at that smile. Sinister. Anyway, so she's knocked out. And
I don't know
what
sinister, but okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't get like innocent.
And here is another complaint that I have. Not enough Nurse Chapel.
She's here in the beginning, you know. She's like, it's kind of like you got that ring in the ears effect kind of start things off, and she's kind of pulling herself off the deck. We're seeing a lot of bodies hit the floor. Una's
like
very injured.
Dave, this is like, you know, when you think about the reality of battle or injuries, and I mean, go back that one's like you got a guy in a pool of blood there, or a woman.
Yeah. No, I liked it. I think this was all like very well done.
I thought it was great. Yeah.
And you speaking of Chapel, I feel like they're really trying to give, you know, what's the word? Validity to her skill set. Like she is looked at as like such a member of that medical crew, and not when you go back to the old 60s version, and it was a different time, granted, but you know, very different in level of credibility she has.
Well, no one slapped her ass, so I'm guessing.
Yeah,
well,
she has way more agency for sure. She's almost like she's not an equal with the doctor per se, but like, you know, he's obviously senior.
I get the impression he treats her like that though.
Yeah, they're playing it
like
as if she's the second doctor.
Because there's the scene where basically she's
Mbega is the second doctor.
It will be interesting to see if
she's almost like the main one. Yeah.
As the series progresses, if we get a McCoy, like a new McCoy, and will he be different? Will he treat Chapel like as a subordinate, like he did in the original series?
Well, I always thought it was interesting that, you know, even back then he would call her nurse. You know, she is.
Yeah, do as I say, nurse. Just don't question me. You know, he would say like, "Go get this medicine." She's like, "Why would you want that?" He's like, "Just do it. Just do it." You know. It's happened in so many episodes. I love here where they're just like doing the whole
I'm okay with that.
Like this.
I love it.
I love this.
Pike. I love Pike like doing a plank across his chair.
Yeah, he's literally planking. Yeah.
Yeah, just classic Trek stuff.
Absolutely.
Down in, I guess it's in the cargo bay. It's not in engineering, right? We have Hemmer and Uhura. He's trying to kind of figure out what's going on with the damage down here. These two are paired up in this cargo bay, pretty much was it the shuttle bay or the cargo bay? I guess it's the cargo bay, they say, because they can't get out of here. They're kind of trapped in this section of the ship. They're not able to leave. We see this guy, he keeps coming up, and then he's reporting up. We can't get down there. Some of the decks are cut off. But this is where Leon shows up, you know, and she was like, "It's the Gorn.
It's the Gorn, sir. It's the Gorn.
It's the Gorn. We need to solve for this." She's like, "Listen to me. I know what's going on." And
but before that, I mean, she's a little unhinged here, and you know, lost her training. It might be she's got no control initially when she comes onto the bridge.
Yeah, she's just like, she comes up firing like, you need to listen to me. I'm the Gorn expert, and we got to get going here. Which is fine. We see her maybe sinister brother, I don't know, across the the room, and his I guess
she's more sinister than he is. Like, she's always got the emo makeup around her eyes on, and
he's just planning to steal her ice cream in that.
Yes.
Yeah, he looks like he's about to steal somebody's ice cream, or he's got like a prank up his sleeve or something. I don't know. But then he disappears just as quickly. So there's like kind of these flashes that keep coming up. They're talking, and they figure out that they need to go into the gas giant. Basically, like, hey, she's like, basically, we need to hide. We won't be able to fight them. We're too damaged. We need to run away. Spock says, yeah, well, we can go into this gas giant technically, but it might crush us like a can if we get too close to it. He's like, perfect, let's go in there, because they'll have to follow us in there as well. And is it Ortegas? Yeah, Ortegas. I'm still learning a couple of the names.
I like her.
Yeah, she's cool. And she's like, well, what are we gonna do once we get in there? Pike's just like,
one problem at a time.
One problem at a time.
I also like the fact that we're 4 episodes in and they haven't bothered to give me any sort of sexuality background with her, because I don't care.
Who?
Like, I just
Ortegas? Yeah.
Yes. Because literally, this is the character that they're thinking that that's what they're going to do. She's going to be like the bisexual or something like that, rather, right? And it's like, it's not needed. Who cares? Like, she's fucking flying, man. That's what she's doing.
Well, she hasn't had a feature episode yet, though. So
yeah, I hope they don't do a woke episode with her, because I have a feeling it's going to go that route. But
I hope they do. I hope it does, just to bug you. So
well, it doesn't really bug me. It's just, it's not needed. Like, it's not needed.
Yeah, I'm digging
like
Ortegas.
Like in Discovery, we have obviously the transgender and all that. It's like, it's fine. I don't care. It's great that there's representation, but we don't need to go that far with it.
Are you making the assumption because of the haircut?
I'm not making the assumption. Online is.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of people bitching.
We don't know anything about Ortegas really, other than she has a sense of
no,
humor.
and I don't need to know. I know she's a fun character, and I'm cool with
she's just turning into the wisecracking, Helms person.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
I liked her line here.
Full impulse to a giant gas cloud of death. Why not?
Let's fly into a giant.
Right after that, did you catch the look from Pike?
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's like my favorite part of the episode.
From Pike's look on her on his face
looks at
is
her
just
like gives her like that dad look, right?
Yeah, he's like, I've told you about this before. You don't say that in front of everybody.
Yeah. So they head into the gas cloud, and they're
pointing that face.
They're pursued by the other ship, but the other ship can't find them. Uhura and Hammer. Oh, well, yeah. I guess this is after the explosion, or they got to pull themselves off the deck.
I honestly do not care at all about these two right now. I don't care. Like, they're literally fixing a breathing apparatus. That's what they're fixing. But they make it sound like they're changing out the warp core. Like,
it kind of gives us, like, we get like what's going on the bridge. We get what's going on with them.
Like, I get it. This is the B storyline. I get that. That's fine.
B or C. Yeah,
it's probably a C, actually. Yeah, I think you're right.
I like that they pulled a whole Mutara Nebula thing. Let's get into the cloud.
Yeah,
it's a little bit like in the episode Disaster, where you got a couple pair ups here. It's kind of like when you put Crusher and LaForge in that cargo bay, and they had to kind of solve a couple problems in there.
But why are they putting the sinister, like the cynical character, away from everybody that he could be cynical about?
Just to give her
that's comedy right there.
I like what
she already had a whole episode. She doesn't need.
I like what they're doing with Uhura, though. They're like, she's still like super smart and sassy, but also way younger. So they're playing her more immature as well.
And she's still got lots to learn, right?
Right. I think it's such a great.
She's not the powerful woman that she is later on.
We don't even know whether she wants to be there at this point.
Yeah.
She doesn't even know if she wants to be there yet. Yeah. We know she will ultimately stay, we think, I guess, or at least she'll still be there when Kirk's there.
But I want Hammer on the bridge, because every time Hammer's on the bridge, it's gold. I love it.
Yeah.
He just makes fun of things. It's funny.
We got some like quieter scenes with these two, which I really liked. I thought we got to learn a little bit more about him in particular.
Not a lot of new stuff. Apprentice type thing. I like that.
It's the coolant system.
But this is the same thing they were talking about, and it was a breathing apparatus before.
All right. I don't
Because
know.
remember when they're talking in the hallway, she's like, "Yeah, the AP 5. What does the AP 500 do? 350 do?"
It was
Unless I missed
was,
that. Maybe I
something
did it
was
wrong.
broken and they had to fix it. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it was just like we got to fix this thing. And
Maybe it's a
then-
coolant system for that system.
And we do get like sort of like I like this conference where now that they're in like the brown, is it a brown giant star, I guess, that they're inside. And so they kind of have like this whole like conference call with like, got Hemmer and Uhura down in this cargo bay. We got Mbenga in sick bay kind of representing, and these are like the three storylines kind of conferencing in together, kind of weighing out their options, what they're going to do. It's everyone's has their struggles here. That call ends. We see how Mbenga talks about how it's all triage. Like I basically all of my sick bay is completely offline. I can't really treat anybody. I can just kind of keep them alive or comfortable, but I'm not able to fully.
He's turned into basically a field surgeon. Like that's what he is right now, right? Like he's patching them up enough to keep them alive, and that's about
giving
it.
them plasma and whatever he needs to along the way.
It's basically a medic, right?
You know what's cool about this scene is that in this huge crisis that's going on, they took the time to sit down. Let's talk about it, plan our way out of it.
Yeah. We're just talking heads around a table. I love it. It's classic Trek.
Yeah. What I liked is the fact that it's dirty. I like that. Yeah. Go to the next slide.
Oh yeah.
Wait,
I like the fact that no, keep going.
The sick bay.
The sick bay is looking.
I
rough,
love that. Like this is chaos. They don't have time to fucking clean.
No, there'd be
Like,
pools
this
of
is-
blood everywhere.
Like if you notice, there's like medical supplies on the floor and shit. Like that's what's gonna happen, and I like that.
Yeah.
I thought it was a really neat touch. There's a lot of nice little touches that they put into this show.
Here's a
which
lot
I
of that
really like.
blood. She Una is not doing so well. She's taking a lot of shrapnel to her
Doesn't she self heal or something? Like, isn't that part of her species?
more about diseases, I think, than
Is it diseases? Okay, like
I think
an
she
immune
heals
system kind of thing.
Yeah, sort of thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And they're kind of looking at each other like, are we gonna be able to save her? I think is what kind of is, are we able with what we have online right now? It's looking, Chapel in particular is like, I don't know,
You want me to like stitch up with like string?
Oh
and
yeah.
stuff?
He says, do you know how to use?
okay.
Do you know how to use like needle and thread? I think is what he asks her here. And then
No,
back
it
up.
was an archaeological medicine.
Archaeological medicine. Do you know? Let's go back to the throwback stuff. Back on in the
It's
conference
like
room.
what McCoy would have called the Dark Ages, Jim.
Yeah.
What is it,
Dialysis.
the goddamn Spanish Inquisition.
Yeah.
Goddamn Spanish Inquisition.
Well, isn't that the episode where like Pulaski's trying to like she's like use a splint right in like the Enterprise D and like the other guys
splint.
He's like, I will practice that. That's not medicine. And she's like, get bent, like you gotta do stuff, or get straight in this case with the splint. But the conference again, Leon's like, we got Gorn here. I'm gonna tell you how these Gorn big trouble here, and she's kind of like Debbie Downer, really, and
She's
Pike,
always Debbie Downer. That's what I've been saying for 4 episodes.
and Pike's trying to keep his officers sort of motivated here and like on task.
He's like, can we just like get their
Jody,
shit
he
done?
finally dealt with her though.
Yes, he did, and I like that.
But one thing, because I play, but one thing Leon says is like these are
They aren't supernatural, but they are monsters.
Monsters, right?
We are prey.
Pike's just like, come on,
You're the best of Starfleet.
get it done, right? And she says that I already played it once,
The enemy doesn't care about my feelings, Captain, so I don't waste my time having any.
right? But he explains to her, I really like.
I like how gentle he is, though. Like, if this was Kirk, imagine if this conversation happened with Kirk. Kirk would be like, I'm the boss, and you're going to do what I tell you to do.
Picard in particular, or Cisco, they would have lost their minds.
Yeah.
Kirk would have kissed her, and everything would have been better.
Yeah, he would be like, all right, now let's have a kiss, and we'll call it a day.
I can't imagine Cisco being gentle with this situation.
No.
He'd be like, do what I tell you to do.
Dismiss, get it back, right? But
Belief can be the difference between victory and defeat.
and
The best miracles are born from truth.
yeah.
I like
So
that
he's
line.
like Mr. Inspiration, Mr. like optimistic.
He's
talking
positive. Right?
He's talking like he's a captain.
Yeah.
She's talking like she's not a lieutenant commander. There's no way. She's got to be just a lieutenant. She's
She is
junior.
third in command of the ship.
Yeah, she's like third officer. So
She looks like she's like 20.
she's young.
Well, whether she's young or not, I don't think that plays into it. But
It's those Noonien-Singh genes, I think, or Singh. Or...
Wesley was like 11 years
yeah,
old.
they let him fly the fucking ship and play around with warfields. Like,
Right.
come on. Not only did they do that, but he fucking zapped out his mom at one point.
Mm-hmm. We see her with the brother keeps popping in. So that's like a full-on uniform he's wearing, right? Like, so they were in some kind of thing. I don't know.
But is it like a boomer uniform or is it
Maybe it was like maybe they were boomers or like something. I don't know. They obviously weren't in Starfleet, but something was
Wonder if they
different.
knew Travis.
yeah. I'm the most famous boomer of all.
Maybe Travis was the captain of the ship that she was on.
Yeah, he belonged. Well, he might be dead by now. I would imagine he'd be dead by this point.
No, he's just really old and grumpy.
Yeah,
telling ghost stories.
Legendary.
Back to Jody's favorite plot with Hemmer and Uhura down in the cargo bay.
Oh, it's my absolute favorite.
Where they're trying to solve things and fix things. Well, not so Hemmer's got a broken hand. If we haven't mentioned that already, so he's struggling to get things done. Uhura is basically saying like, "Let me be your hands." He's like, "You don't know how to do. You can't do it. You don't know the engine systems like I do." And he says,
"Not fond of teams."
He's not fond of teamwork.
Fond of teams.
Yeah, he's the chief engineer. Not fond of teamwork.
Why the hell did they even assign him a cadet? Like, he clearly shouldn't be doing this.
It's part of the protocol. It was just his turn to teach her something that day.
It'd be like giving McCoy like Sulu to like, patch people up. Like McCoy ain't gonna put up with that shit.
Yeah. But they had to solve some problems here. They're starting to work together.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who designed this UI because my God, would this be complicated?
What do those pictographs mean?
They're all pictos. It's like
we're not supposed to understand it, I guess. But
well, I guess we're not supposed to understand it, but yeah, it's just like from a UI angle that was just stupid. But anyway,
back to the bridge. We got Spock and Pike. I keep want to call him Kirk. He's Pike. They're kind of discussing.
He's better than Kirk.
He's figured out how to make a radar. That was like, I made a radar.
I'm glad you got this. I love the fact that their red alert symbol is the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Yeah, it's like the classic red alert. I think that's from the movies, right?
That's from the movies. Yeah.
It looks really good.
I love that.
And Pike's very impressed with this. Like they're able to kind of see it. And
he's like, that's a good looking red alert logo. That's what he's thinking.
Radar. What's radar? They got
going here, and then they kind of
archaeological
see
medicine. They got radar going. Man, it's like back in time, Dark Ages, Dave.
The Dark Ages of space travel.
Figuring out that the other ship is tracking them, that they can blip it on the radar. They don't know if it can see it or not, And so there's kind of a moment where it kind of goes by, and there's a lot of tension in this episode, which I really
and this
liked.
is another moment that I really loved when Ortegas is like getting antsy, and he makes a command with a look, doesn't even say anything, just a look.
Yeah, and she's just like,
aye, Skipper,
whatever you want.
Yep.
Right, we'll get
get her done.
Some exterior shots here with the Gorn ship kind of flying around. I thought the Gorn ship looked cool. You don't get
cool, but confusing.
Yeah,
very confusing looking ship.
It's all very quick, like a lot of the exterior stuff. So you don't get to, and it's always the cameras in this show kind of move around very fast, and so you have to sort of take it in very quickly. But yeah, it was neat. I liked it. And then this is where they drop the whole like torpedo. Like we have the one torpedo, we're gonna drop it on it, but this ends up being kind of the Gorn's plan anyway. We see like the tube open up. We see the torpedo.
Why the hell are these torpedoes so glowy?
They're from Tron, Jody.
But like, doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose of being like kind of covert when it comes to shooting things? Like,
I think they moved too quick to really care.
Yeah, and this was they were just dropping this with gravity, right? Of the gravity of the star, which I thought like that was Pike's kind of plan here. I like
that idea. I thought it was
he's like we don't need a guidance system. We'll just drop it on them, like
drop it like old school,
Yeah, old
bombs
school.
Away.
Bombs away.
We'll open the door and literally throw it out.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they do. Spock's like, "Good on," and then Ortegas is like, "Right, awesome." all right, Skipper, let's do it. But this ends up being the plan because we see the big Gorn ship is now coming on Spock's.
I think
makeshift
Ortega
radar.
is literally the glue that holds this ship together.
Well, she's like,
she's awesome, and she just keeps doing what she needs to do.
Bigger.
She's like, why is one bigger?
Yeah. Wow, that one's much bigger than the other ones.
Yeah, and we see
It's almost like she's trolling him at that point.
It's like, what's
well, we broke
radar?
one, but
What-
that one's way bigger.
That's bigger, huh? Bigger Gorn ship. Oh, this one, yeah, like they all looked fine. Like not as cool as the Enterprise, of course, but it was kind of like the threat level is going up. They're building the tension. The scariness is.
I liked how they did this, though. I thought it was great.
It's good. The ship's in disarray. They're just kind of trying to keep things together, just like how they're trying to keep Una sewed up here, as we see like she's getting all the stitches from all the shrapnel. She really. Do
you get the impression that Una is just like a guest star on the show? She, out of the 4 episodes we've had, she's barely gotten any screen time other than the 1 episode.
Well, that was last episode.
Yeah. But
yeah,
then,
so you and I weren't on that podcast, but it was
yeah, that was the one where she was they're talking.
She got a lot to do in that episode.
That's
I
true.
I think you just like
she's like leading the away teams, guys.
But but I also think like somebody who's second in command, like Riker got a lot of screen time, tons of screen time.
We're only 4 episodes in. We're only 4 episodes in.
I'm worried about that. I think she's an interesting character. I want to see more of her.
Right. There's that flashlight that you hold that you don't like. Adam.
Oh, they do have the wedge flashlights.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Well,
right.
I guess they're needed at some point, but when you're on a away mission and you have guns in your hand, you gotta.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to be carrying around with them. That's for sure.
Yeah. More sewing. And then over here we got Uhura and Hemmer again.
Back to the best plot ever.
He was like, "We'll find out which ones are hot," and then she touches it and burns her hand. He's like, "You're an idiot."
Like, how stupid is she?
Didn't say touch it.
I didn't say touch it.
Like, don't they kind of teach you that? Like, there's going to be hot things. Not only that, but these things fucking glow red. Like, that's like the universal indication of don't touch
red
it.
means don't touch it.
Yeah,
yeah. He's like, find the cool one, and then that one, that if it's cold, it's actually malfuncting, and then you can take it out.
Which makes sense.
She pulls it out, and I like some of her moments here. Even Hemmer being Hemmer, where he's just like, how about you keep your focus?
Keep your focus and maybe pick up the pace.
Pick up the pace is my other one I like here. And then she pulls it out and she's like,
The crowd goes wild.
the crowd goes wild.
That was dumb.
I liked that. I like it. They're having fun, like they're with
That reminds me of that the guy in Die Hard, the computer hacker guy in Die Hard. It's like, and the crowd goes wild.
Oh yeah,
the same guy.
Terrence Gilliard Jr. Great role.
Yeah.
All right. It was kind of, I was enjoying it. Back on here, like, I guess they had to go like even deeper, right? To get
He's
away
like,
from these.
When was the last time they cleaned those windows up there?
Yeah,
there's like bugs all over it.
The structural failure, because the only way they can get away from these Gorns is just to go deeper and deeper into this gas giant and hope that Enterprise will hold and that they won't. And ultimately that strategy does kind of work because he knows that he's outgunned. He doesn't have his systems. He has to just kind of try to triage, right? Just like the Chapel and Mbenga are doing with Una. It's kind of like a metaphor there, I think. I think like that's kind of like also with the storyline with Uhura and Hemmer, right? He's just like, I just gotta hope, keep this together.
Yeah, but again, he's being forced to make choices, right?
Right.
And unlike Kirk, and you can see this bothers him. Like he's definitely having to make hard choices. Kirk just moved on. Oh well, lost another red shirt.
Kind of like every life in this episode, really, every death that's lost is really something. And they talk about how the lower decks are going to go first, RIP for the lower decks, and that there's somebody down there, and he's gonna have to close off the bulkheads, right? Whether you can get those people evacuated or not. And that's where we get this guy, the blue shirt we saw earlier in the episode, who was making eyes at Chief Kyle. He's running through here. Kind of struggling. Chief Kyle coming along trying to save him.
Chief Kyle can't run.
Chief Kyle, that's not a run. Yeah, get those knees up.
Chief Kyle can't run. That is not a good run.
Maybe just my particular screenshot there, but
No,
yeah,
I already noticed that.
yeah. But this blue shirt guy, he's not doing so well. He can't walk as well. He's trying to
fuck
pick him up.
You can't walk. I'm leaving.
They're kind of moving along here. There was kind of like a moment in Voyager in the year of hell where like there's like those two crewmen coming and the doctor has to close it, just before like the explosion, which ends up all getting erased anyway, so it never actually happened. But it was kind of like that moment, and this guy just pushes Kyle through the doors. I feel like if you had enough energy to push him through the door,
then you got enough energy to run.
Yeah, it seems like this, but there's kind of like, and then Kyle's like, no, or he doesn't say no.
I don't think it really was no. He was kind of like, oh, that sucks. Who am I going to play Chinasta with now?
Yeah. Maybe they were good. Well, maybe to Sam's point.
Maybe he was his bridge partner.
Are they going to play backgammon together?
Oh, maybe that's the problem. They used to play backgammon.
Right.
Now he's got to find a new person to play backgammon.
I think
with.
yes, Sam. It's Kyle and whoever that blue shirt was who went.
Unknown blue shirt man.
Yeah, he's one. Is he the first of the 7 to die, or no? I guess not, right? Because there was
other people that died. Yeah,
in the initial attack, right? We're seeing the fatalities here. They're kind of just waiting it out, and we see this like Gorn ship. It gets like crushed up, which I thought was really cool. It just blows up. It implodes, I guess.
But it also shows how relentless they are. Like they're willing to risk themselves to try to get their food.
Which I think
the Gorns are misunderstood. Personally,
I think I don't know. Where do you sit on this, guys? On the Gorn, are they just hungry? Are they just are they like the crystalline entity?
Like they gotta eat.
Yeah, it seems extreme.
Humans are just their cows. That's all.
Yeah.
Look, I think that it's good sometimes when you can't rationalize with a species you run into. Like they're just. It is what it is. We don't want to be your friends. We want to eat you or we want to destroy you or we want to,
Well, it makes perfect sense. You're not going to meet everybody that's going to be super nice to you. And you're not going to meet everybody that has the same intentions as you.
Yeah. No, colonize your worlds. I mean, like they, and it's a pretty common science fiction theme, sending things to Earth to eat us.
Yeah. There's always something that wants us to get there, right?
The Federation teaches that if we can find a way to empathize with an enemy, then they can one day become our friends. They're wrong.
Is she
right? They are
right?
wrong. Absolutely.
Do you think there could ever be peace established with the Gorn?
No.
Okay.
No.
The Gorn just
hungry hippos.
They're like it's like V. Like they're like
exactly.
Well, maybe I don't know.
Well,
I don't know enough
about exactly, them. But close.
Like but if you shoot them with a bamboo cannon on a planet with the Metrons, and things maybe can turn around. I don't know.
Diamond is their kryptonite.
Yeah, you hit them with a diamond, and while they're wearing their weird loincloths, going on here. But anyway, I digress. More triage.
I'm so bad
here.
that I didn't get to see a Gorn.
Yeah, we didn't get to see any. I thought that was kind of like, I think they're saving it like for a later episode or something like that, because there was like we hit a wall and
like a season.
We haven't got to the mind meld yet, but when he says like we hit a wall in your subconscious, I think that's going to be revealed like later. Anyway, so more.
So there's another girl that dies later.
She dies later.
Yep.
Oh yeah, she does. She's one of the 7. All right, pour one out for them. There's more like the talk here. She's like, give my plasma to whoever, right? That's an order. And she's like, well, we're gonna have to put you under. Cool line. My first Chapel quote where she's like, if you get sepsis, it's going to be like,
Here it's like giving birth out your mouth.
you'll be throwing up so much.
Who says something like that?
I do. Who says something like that?
And just matter of factly too. I do.
I like how she's a nurse, but she's very tactless. Like I like that.
Yeah, I like her energy. Like compared to Invictus,
I thought I would hate this character, and she's still one of my favorites. I think at this point.
Yeah, she's like the comic relief a lot, So it's she's.
I think when I saw her chasing somebody and being very excited about chasing somebody is when she won me over.
In the first episode, yeah, she was like,
that was funny.
"Oh yeah, and then she gives the high five to her. And
she's like, all right, I get to run.
Yeah, she's having fun with her role, which is good. She's literally just trying to save people's lives minute by minute. And she's like, yeah, your organs will liquefy or you'll be giving birth out your mouth or whatever, So she's got her things. They put Una under here. There's there's more of this thing like give her the
Bye,
plasma.
bye, blue lady who's gonna die later.
Yeah, I see you later. But I like how they get us to establish these people. To your point earlier, Jody, where before we kill them, otherwise they'd just be like.
I didn't notice it until the second. I watched it a second time, so that's when I noticed that they were doing that.
And that's what I'm trying to say is that I think there's a real effort to mourn the losses. You know, you don't.
Yeah.
They're just not an anonymous crew member who dies on a planet.
Yeah, it's not like Kirk's ship where he like loses 10 people and he's like, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get more at the next starbase.
Most of the people he lost along those missions, they were just like, we met them like 2 seconds and then they're gone.
Yeah, that's my point, Dave. You didn't know
they just got on the ship and then they die. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so they're going to the center of this. It's a black hole with a brown dwarf or whatever, right? Like that's there's
a dwarf caught in the black hole. Yeah.
In the giant gas cloud of death, right? They're going through here. You know, it's we got to figure something out. I think this is where they crack up the mission to take the shuttle, right? He's like, take the Galileo out and do something or other along the way. So they do, and so it's Leon and Spock on the Galileo.
I love how they portray the shuttle in this show.
It looks really good.
It's not this cramped little closet
It's
anymore.
enormous.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but realistically, that would make more sense, right? Like, because these are surveying vehicles as well. Like, you're going to be bringing stuff back with you. You're going to be transporting supplies to colonies, stuff like that. Like, they need to be more utilitarian than the way they were, right?
It looks good. Like
I like how they still have the ball thing.
The ball thing that's kind of like a view screen of sorts, like or like a monitor. It's great, you know. And then more of the not sinister,
the sinister brother. Yeah,
the smirking. He's a smirker.
I don't know why he's so sinister to you. He doesn't look sinister to me, but
he doesn't look innocent. I don't know. Anyway.
Wow.
And then I got the SS.
Could they not have come up with a better ship name though? Like,
what is Puget Sound?
I don't care.
I think it's in. Oh my gosh, I have to check now, but I think it's on the West Coast, like in Seattle area.
Oh, it's like, yeah. I know this name.
Like, they must have been pretty hard up for names if that's the one that they went with.
Yeah, it's the Sound in Washington State. Yep.
Yeah, it's like a town. Okay, I know I've heard of it before, right? And so anyway, she's like, well, what about a mine? I thought it was weird that they wanted to do a mind meld in the middle of this shuttle mission when there's nobody else here to fly the ship.
Yeah, it's on automatic. It's fine.
Yeah, I guess.
They practically fly themselves, Dave.
All right. And so we keep moving along here. The kid, he's back. He's Mr. Smirky. We end up in like this the flashback basically within her mind. We see some.
This was pretty dire for Star Trek. Like this went really, really south for a while there. I was like, what?
Yeah, I was digging it. I liked it.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I wish we got more. I wish they had revealed more, and I think that's what I was saying.
I wanted to see a damn Gorn.
Gorn.
Once they said Gorn, I'm like, you better show me a Gorn. And I never
we see the younger version of her, of Leon.
And she's got the space.
She's got the too. So they were, but
it must be like an away suit or something.
I guess I don't know. It's curious. He's like, basically what happens here. He's like, I've been studying them. I've been figuring this out. I'm going to basically sacrifice myself to save you. Is kind of what happens in this scene. So we presume he's died. I'm
going to make a shirt that says Gorn's got to eat.
Yeah, because they were like captive. They were captives of the Gorn for a while. This was like he's had enough.
Wear that shirt.
He's had enough time to make his little map or whatever, or his little booklet here, and it's got like the code. And then I like how it transposed between the younger version of her and the memory, and then it was her, like the older actor playing Leon.
That's the trope thing that they do.
Search hunt week is like, I guess it's almost like it looks like
they're just words that he's figured out. Yeah,
this is like and this is the clicking.
Yeah,
it's the light.
No, it's a light. It's a light. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they use light as communication, but they also click. I don't know, and they also hiss. We know that when we see them later. So, but they're watching like these two ships like do the light over together, and she's able to kind of discern from that their language,
which seems a very impractical way to communicate. Like, yeah, I get it. Like naval ships do it, but like you're in space, there's like nebulas that you'd be blocking the light and stuff like that. Like they're near a black hole. They're near a black hole. Like some of that light would get sucked in there, so it'd get lost anyway.
But and so it's intercutting with the mind meld and what's actually happening in real time here with like the two Gorn ships. He says goodbye, and then he's like, "We've hit a wall in your mind. Your subconscious won't go any further." And she's like, "Did you have a sister too, or like is there some kind of traumatic memory here?" And he's like, "Shut up! I don't want to talk about Michael Burnham." You know,
we don't talk about Space Jesus.
He's like, "You're right. It's been expunged from the records. It's you know that's why."
I'm glad they did that. I'm glad that they didn't go any further.
Yeah, and then the mind meld is broken basically, and we come
less
back
Burnham
here.
in this show, the better.
Well, I don't need her referenced all the time, but I think there will be.
I think they've done it now, and it's over.
Good. I hope so.
It's not over, but it's but we'll see. Yeah. So anyway, so
that
we
is
got
one sweaty Spock.
Yeah, I guess it's sweaty down here in this brown giant or whatever, brown dwarf.
Well, yeah, it's hot.
I liked this. I liked how we got to see like phasers, up, down, fire. You know, it's like, here's some screenshots.
So if
here.
nobody has seen these things or know anything about them, why is the computer identifying it as a Gorn destroyer?
I love that. They already
stupid.
They classified it, Jody. It's a
Leon programmed it. She was like,
"Come on."
She already said it. She's the tactical officer.
It's the Gorn.
It's the Gorn.
This is a huge space program, okay? There's no way that they would just say like that's what it is and then program.
Yeah, but they know who the Gorn are.
It's got to go through like 20 management people.
It's the Gorn, sir.
Admirals signing off on it. Like, come on now.
But
destroyer.
They know who the Gorn are. They're not new to them.
Certainly now they know who they are. This has been a real like introduction. They've been more like a myth.
But nobody's ever seen them.
Well, she has.
But she doesn't get to make that classification.
Maybe
no, but they have to know something.
They don't know anything about the damn ships. Nothing.
Well, they know now.
Now they know now.
Well, apparently, because their computers can tell them everything about it now.
Right.
I think that anything that attacks you is called a destroyer.
I guess. I thought that's
Fair enough.
a size thing.
Fair
did
enough.
Did they destroy one of them here? Is that what happened?
Yes, she used the light to send them
tell
a
the other one.
signal
Yeah.
that the humans had
Taken over the
invaded that ship.
Yeah.
Right.
And so they destroyed it. She says they destroyed it because they would they see it as
weak,
of calling the weak to make the rest of them stronger.
So the one Gorn ship destroyed the other one because it thought there was people on it.
Oh, they thought there was human. That's right. Right. Okay,
that was really cool.
Yeah, that was
a neat idea.
Yeah, a lot happened in this episode. You know, it was a lot to keep track of. You know, so that's how they defeat the next ship. Back to Hemmer and Uhura down. They're solving problems, and there's kind of a couple moments here with him and her where she was asking her, or she's asking him about the Anar being pacifists. You know, he talked about how he originally didn't want to be an engineer.
I actually wanted to be a botanist.
He wanted to be like Keiko. Everybody, you know,
he wanted to go to Pajor with his plants and Sabah.
7 more months.
I love Flora.
Right. She asks him about being a pacifist, and I really liked some of the different quotes here where he was like, you know, I will fight. I will not fight for Starfleet.
I will not fight for Starfleet.
But
I will defend its ideals.
But I defend its ideals.
They might be on the wrong ship.
That's certainly going to come up in a later episode.
Oh yeah.
I was like, Jeff needs to see this because Jeff is going to love this this character when he sees this. And he goes, pacifism is not pacifist.
Pacifism is not passivity. It is the active protection of all living things in the natural universe.
You know, so I dig Hemmer's philosophy. You know, I get where he's
no one's trying to protect the Gorn.
Right, because I guess an Anar in Starfleet is rare. He's kind of an exception to the rule. Like most of them wouldn't do it, but he does. You know, and she says it's a matter of perspective. You know, just like not being able to see, or having a broken hand and using me to do the stuff for you.
This whole plot takes way too long.
You know, I thought it was good. I thought it was good. We learned more about him, and there was these two have some bonding. They call up to Pike that we're going to have to eject everything out of here. And he's like, well, you got some EV suits down there? And they're like, yeah. And he's like, suit up, get ready to get out there because we're going to blow it out the thing. There's this whole the whole idea about how they're going to use the red shift to kind of defeat them. I thought it was neat. Is this where they cook up the whole Pike maneuver, right? He's like,
Explain gravitational redshift.
Gravitational redshift is an optical illusion that occurs as an object falls into a black hole. The object falls faster than the frequency of light that emits. To any outside observer, it would appear as though the object has stopped just outside the black hole.
Right. So that's the whole idea here. And Ortega's.
It's officially the Pike maneuver.
Officially
Pike. She's just having fun.
Yeah. She's like, we're making Pike maneuvers, guys. It's great.
I call it the convenience maneuver.
They're getting into this. When they get the suits on again with the division color, which Jody hates. I just want to.
It's just not necessary.
It's not unnecessary.
Yes, it is.
Well, then they shouldn't wear any colored shirts, then, Jody.
When you're on an away mission, you don't want to be identified. Everybody should look the
You're
same.
assuming that every away mission is some kind of war scenario.
You are always in a war zone until you establish otherwise. That is the rule.
That's a militaristic point of view.
They are a militaristic organization. I hate
they
to
are
break it to
not.
you.
They're a paramilitaristic.
Absolutely they are.
Yeah, but you're burying the lead here. Hemmer looks ridiculous with that little hat on.
You know what he looks like, Kevin? You remember Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade? He looks like that knight.
Oh my god!
Yeah, he has chosen wisely.
He has chosen poorly.
I saw that and I go, he's the knight.
He had to tuck his little antennas into that.
See that. Well, and on top of that, this is clearly not a thing where they're just designing it for everybody. His antennas might be very sensitive, and he's got to have them
It's strategy to get them in there.
It's like wearing really tight jeans, guys. This
some guys just tuck them in, man. They tuck it back. That's how they
wow.
It's a similar thing, just on your head. Anyway, I got the Pike maneuver. I down here in sickbay, they were putting the force fields up around the biobeds. I like that. That was a cool.
That was cool. I like that idea. Yeah, very
neat. And then basically, Uhura and Hemmer are just going to strap themselves to a hook on the ground while this whole thing is going to clear out. Kind of like with LaForge and Crusher, we were talking about earlier, in Disaster. They kind of do a similar thing here, but they're not just going to hold on to the bulkhead. They're gonna kind of fly out here, and Pike's like, guess what? I got a speech,
Attention, this is the captain speaking.
Yeah.
Earlier today, we were reminded of the cost of exploration.
But we do not back down. We do not give in to fear. And I believe today will not be our last mission, but our finest hour.
This is good shit, man. This is some good shit.
It's a mix of Galaxy Quest and Winston Churchill.
Yeah. It's really
leadership.
Galaxy
it's
Quest
great.
is the first thing I thought of when I started hearing this.
Yeah, no, we got the intercuts here, and they're basically the plan here is just to convince the Gorn that they've flown into the black hole and they're dead. And this is the Pike maneuver, but it works. They go in here. We got Spock.
Love those panels.
Love those panels. That's great. They're holding on. I think there's one of their. Oh, it looks like their hook is going to come out at one point, and it's going to come off, and they're holding on, but they managed to survive. We know they're going to survive because we know Uhura survives this series, certainly. Hemmer, we'll see. But they blow up. They think they seem to blow up here, and then the Gorn just leave, and then they fly out. Woo! And it's all good. And then they're trying to call down to the cargo bay to see if they are dead. There's kind of this whole moment where Pike is just oh, maybe they're gone. And then he goes, yes! Right? He's got this look of relief. We go over to this guy. I love this guy.
What was with this guy?
Yeah. He's like, yeah!
He's got a thing for either Hemmer or
he's like, I had $10 on Hemmer living. All right.
Who's got two thumbs and the wink of the guns, man? He's great.
He looks like he's in a commercial.
Yeah. I don't even know what this guy does on the bridge, but
I have a
him.
funny feeling this is the new Wesley.
Yeah. I need every time they do something, this guy just needs to go, yes.
Maybe he's a traveler.
Yeah, it's more of that Galaxy Quest kind of thing. Yeah. She's
just wiped out. She's had a big show.
She's
She's
like,
had a day.
I've flown near a black hole. I've flown into a big giant
Giant cloud of death or whatever.
Clouds of death.
So I wasn't
and I've
eaten
been
by a
shot
reptile.
at by lizard men.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good now. I'm just gonna like hang here for a bit.
Yeah, but Leon,
And this one's like, I'm still sad and mad.
my brother.
I'm mad.
Yeah, she's a brother, man, who's not sinister at all.
I'm still grumpy
or smirky or whatever. I didn't get a great shot of it here, but like Spock has this moment where he almost smiles. You know,
yeah, it's like a quasi smile. Yeah,
yeah. He kind of he's relieved. He's in the celebrations, and you know, Pike's like, it's all good, man. You know, like Leon, you can.
What he's
relax.
actually thinking is, can you just crack a fucking smile once
Can
in
you
a
not?
while?
Can
Like,
you not just have
one?
Can we not have a moment here? You know, and she's like, no.
She definitely broods a lot.
She's a brooder.
Oh,
She's a brooder.
God.
Yeah. You know, he's like, relax. It's okay.
I'm hoping we have like a moment like we did in like Enterprise where like she's gonna get drunk and like just be completely the opposite.
No, I hope we get a moment like hide and Q when she's in the penalty box.
Penalty box. I'm in the penalty box.
When what is in the penalty box? Tears are permitted.
But Pike would be like, just do what you're normally doing. It's fine.
Right. We get the shot of the Enterprise, and as they come across, we see how the Enterprise looks rough. Like they took some
lots
damage.
of battle damage. I like that.
They need to go to space dock and get patched up here.
Well, they're also out of torpedoes as well.
They're out of
so
torpedoes.
They probably have to go back anyway.
Yeah. And they're limping, but like, you know, we see Una wakes up, you know, and she's like, where did I get the blood transfusion from? Well, I thought I gave my plasma to the other one. And
why are they doing transfusions through uniforms?
Are they different species?
Oh my God.
These two? Like, but anyway,
well, they are,
I guess the blood's compatible, and he just gives her a look like, I figured it out. I gave you
He's
my
like,
blood.
you let me have my little girl in the transporter.
Did you know when you donate blood, you get a cookie? That's what, you know, it's all good. And so
like, I like cookies.
I like cookies. Okay. She ends up putting on her little medallion here. So she kind of like there's some
like,
progress.
none of us can see that coming.
Yeah, it was good. It was, you know, kind of a good arc to the episode.
Convenient. Jody.
Well, just
no, that wasn't convenient. That was just straight out lazy writing. But anyway.
No, it was good. It was good. I liked it. You know, now she's willing to she's grieving now more. Because she's acknowledging her pain, you know.
She's brooding.
She's less the brood has come down.
She's still brooding.
She's still brooding.
She's just brooding in another
She's
part
always
of the ship now.
I think this character will never stop brooding. You know, it's just like, but it's that's how she is. We get the 7 dead. I liked I didn't like that they were dead, but I liked the shot. That we get
the shot
here.
was neat, actually.
And Pike down here, he's kind of going on, and she comes down, more brood, and he's, you know, and that's kind of like one of the last shots I took actually of the episode. So anyway, thank you for going through slideshows with me and breaking that all down. But guys, so like as we talked about the episode, analyzed it more, maybe we can give this a rating. What do you think? I don't know, where's my rating ticker? Ratings, here we go. Guys, what would you rate it? Let's start with me. I'm giving this, I like this more than last week's. I'm going to go 9.3. You know, I made little nitpicks, but I liked it a lot. Kevin?
Go 9 on this one.
9? Is Ashley with you?
Yes. She's not listening though.
Oh, okay. I will hide that. All right. Jody?
8.5.
8.5 from Jody. And Davin's not with us, and then Adam.
9.
Okay, I was the high point this week. All right. It was sitting at 8.6 on IMDb, but that was like hours ago. But maybe it's gone up. Who knows? New director, a new set of writers too. Davey Perez and Bo DeMeo. And again, so we've had the kind of a Pike episode, like feature pilot, then an Uhura, then an Una episode, now Leon. So I don't know who's next up. Maybe Ortegas, maybe Chapel, maybe Mbenga.
No, obviously Spock is
it's
next.
Spock. It's named Spock Amok.
Wait, I guess we buried the Spock is getting the next feature. Spock Amok. Is that how we say this? Can't wait, guys. So
I can't wait. It's going to be amazing.
No, yeah. Is he gonna be fighting with those like?
If they don't bring back some form of that music, I'm going to be mad.
Yeah. There was like even in this episode, there was kind of like the hints of like it was almost sounded like the Klingon theme, but I guess it was like the Gorn theme that they played in some parts of the music and the score in this episode. Really enjoyed it.
Oh, that's one thing I can't wait for is Klingon episodes.
Well, what kind of Klingons are we gonna get? Is my big question there. Are we gonna get those Discovery Klingons? Or are we gonna get original series Klingons? Something in between?
Oh, I didn't think about that.
I feel like this
show's been good. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. They're going to do good Klingons.
Yeah, they're going to fuck up.
It's not just about how they look. It's also, how they act on screen. And like those Discovery Klingons looked like goblins, and they were talking through like these huge teeth. Like with I am Tukuvma.
I thought I was watching Dark Crystal.
So maybe we'll get more of those augment Klingons. Maybe we'll get some Klingons like Kor or Koloth. Who knows? That would be interesting to see.
I'm going to give this show the benefit of the doubt. They've done great so far. They're going to do good.
They have.
Yeah. So
I think they've got the writers and said, "Okay, guys, don't mess this up. We're starting off straight, like really great, really strong."
Yeah. Don't crash the plane.
I think they probably just keep locking out Kurtzman. They're like, no, we're in Office 6 today. Honest.
He's just walking around the lot all day going, where?
Yeah, he's walking around the lot trying to figure out where it is.
He thinks they're in LA and they're really in Toronto,
Well, Kurtzman is still at the core of all of these shows. So I think he's learned some things along the way about what works and what doesn't, hopefully. I don't know.
I don't know about that.
We've seen some good things in Prodigy. He obviously greenlit that. Lower Deck, same thing. But Discovery's been sort of up and down for me. Like it's had its moments, but then on the other times I'm like, ugh. So it's all these different writing.
I just hope this show doesn't pull a fucking Picard, because the first couple episodes of Picard were great for this season.
I don't think that they're telling that kind of story. I think the other thing with Discovery and Picard is that they've been like these long, huge 8-hour.
I'm just glad I get a new adventure every week.
We're gonna get to know this crew in various different situations. That's what I am looking forward to.
Right. Yeah. Me too.
And you know what? And if they mess one up, you got another one next week.
Exactly. And they're gonna mess some of them up. I mean, it's
look at Next Gen.
You
There were
can't
some
do that.
stinkers in Next Gen.
Even in like when they were at their peak, even though they had their best seasons, they always had some bad. Even when we were doing like the Deep Space Nine, and we were like, season 5 is amazing. There were some bad episodes.
I like the last season of Next Gen, but Sub Rosa's in the last season of Next Gen, and that is a garbage episode.
Oh, that's a great episode.
No, it's not.
Oh, it's great. Wonderful.
Yes.
She fucks a ghost.
I love them all. That candle has brought nothing
Jody,
but misery.
I'm 100% with you. If you're gonna rate my episodes, it's in the bottom of them.
Oh no, it's great.
I wouldn't say it's the worst Next Gen episode, but it's up there.
It's a classic.
Classically bad.
It's a classic example of what not to do.
Just like Spock's brain, Adam. Like I love that. Classic.
Kevin loved it.
I love Spock's brain.
Spock's brain, great episode.
Just for brain and brain.
What is brain?
What is brain?
All right. Well, thanks for being with us tonight here on Live Long and Podcast and listening to us go on about this review. We hoped you liked the episode. Leave some comments, some theories, or just things you're noticing that we maybe left out.
Or tell me how angry I am.
Yeah, tell us how next week. I might have to get Davin to cover next week because I'm going to be in Brantford for like the opening.
I won't be on next week, Dave.
Okay, so we'll figure out for the next for Spock Amok and how we're gonna get that all covered. But I got a few days to figure that out. Thank you for being with us tonight. Strange New Worlds, Memento Mori. Check out our Monday night coverage of Star Trek Enterprise. Pike is making Archer looks so bad now. I think in comparison, like I gotta just say that. He's like this Ensign Mount performance is so good,
so good. Leadership.
Stand still.
He stands still. He just like listens.
He looks at the
Was
screen.
there ever a question that it was going to be better?
Well, it's doing them in the same week. You do notice it.
But Kevin has gone through an entire season without stopping. So
Kevin's
there's got to be something good about Enterprise.
There's good things. It's just not Archer. He's not the best.
I ended on a 10 first season.
Actually, did yeah.
So it can't be that bad. So
And
if you want to hear
we have
every
to cover the second episode of that.
every Monday night, we talk about the next episode of Enterprise. Been going through each one, the show that was from 20 years ago.
We're season 2.
We're starting season 2 on Monday, so that's exciting. We are through the 26 episodes already. So, and then D Space 9 at 9 is probably at least one more week until we bring that back. And probably after our hockey tournament, and then we'll be. I know Sam was lamenting in the comments. He's like, I miss my my D Space 9. My D Space 9 coverage. Don't worry, Sam. We'll get it back for you. Get Jeff Mader back on the station.
Just in time for the Dominion War.
Yeah, we're getting into the best stuff, and we're like, no, we need to stop.
Regroup, get ready for it. You're gonna be good.
Because last night on, as Sam had mentioned, we finished up our coverage on Super Mario Brothers Podcasting Survivor Season 42. So that Wednesday nights are now going to be cleared up at least until September. And then also, we have a bunch of other podcasts over there you should check out. A whole bunch of different things like Big Brother and different shows. And then Trivial Debates, a monthly show. We are about movies, TV, sports, and more. I'm trying to find a panel. I'm trying to get a panel together for this weekend. I don't know if it's going to happen. But it will either be on Saturday or Sunday. It's already now Thursday, and I either have Jaemeel or Chris, but not both. So depending on which day we do it. So looking for any volunteers. If anyone's looking to do a show, even Sunday.
I was already asked.
Jody's already bowed out. But anyway, we don't need to limit that here. Check out our friends' podcast like Michael Chan and Alex Blackburn every Wednesday talking about the Hellbound podcast, the horror podcast. My son, Eamon Mader, under Sam Jerka, doing Let's Talk About Fighting Games, a video game focused podcast, as well as my cousin and yours, Davin Scalehorn, who was Captain Jellicoe last week here to cover episode 3. He's got Locutors of Trek, his podcast, Star Trek themed, where they do Writers Room pitches, trivia, and different things, and X-Men the Animated Series X-Rated. He does every Tuesday with his friend Andre.
Davin did get it done. He got it done.
He got it done. He sure did. I watched the whole thing when I got back that week. So thank you, Davin, for covering in last week. And with that, I think we can maybe we can go out with a quote. I don't know which one. Any requests? Here we go. Let's go out with Leon quote. All right, live long and podcast, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Gorn.
Yeah.
It's the Gorn.
It's the Gorn.
It's